How much you think voter fraud is going to take into account? Meaning, you think there's going to be a lot of voter fraud?
There's going to be. There already has been voter fraud, I'm sure.
You think they're going to get caught? You think there's going to be, where it's going to be lawsuits and...
There might be.
What precedent do we have for voter fraud?
Prepare the video.
What history do we have of anybody being a sore loser, ever, beside Hillary?
What history do we have of ever having a president like Trump?
Oh, I mean, talk about sore losing.
Here, watch this 24-second video. Watch this 24. By the way, it's got 7.8 million views in less than 24 hours.
We're in a situation where we have put together, and you guys did it for our administration, the President Obama's administration before this. We have put together, I think, the most extensive and inclusive voter fraud organization in the history of American politics. Secondly,
Oh,
what do you think he meant by that? What do you legitimately? Don't be political here. Just
Go back.
Yes, he
go
says
back
some
from
ridiculous
12
shit
seconds.
sometimes.
Go back from 12 seconds. Go, press play.
we have put together, I think, the most extensive and inclusive voter fraud organization in the history of American politics. Second,
So first of all, what the hell are you saying? Like, you got to pick and choose your words, what you're saying. A guy running for office and we put together the greatest voter, organization, voter fraud organization. What is he saying, Adam?
He probably meant to say, and this is welcome to Joe Biden's world.
Fraud prevention.
Fraud prevention, election protection.
Go ahead, protect him.
Okay. So do you actually think he came out there and says, guys, we did it. We're going to full on. We got the voter fraud committee. It's going down. It's happening on Tuesday.
The media doesn't seem to
seriously.
be,
what do you think he meant, Byron? Be apolitical for 1 second.
I think he probably meant to say the opposite.
Okay. Pat, what do you think? Be apolitical for a second. You could still make fun of Joe and call him a crazy dementia, sleepy Joe, but what do you actually think he meant?
I actually think, here's a problem. I'll tell you what the problem is. When Hillary was running, Hillary thought 100% she's going to win.
Right.
She acted like she was a president 2 years before she even was, when
Queen Hillary.
She was like, it was no question. Yeah. I don't even need to campaign. I'm going to be the president because every single media's on my side. Everybody's on my side. There's no way in the world I'm going to lose this, right? Obama wasn't like that. Obama was fighting. Obama was paranoid, right? You know how Biden talks right now? Biden talks as if he's already the president. Biden talks as if he can get away with anything. Biden, for 47 years, has been able to get all these, if any of these laptop deals with Tony guy coming out, if any of this stuff is true for 47 years, this guy's been doing deals and getting away with it, you have to realize it gets to a point where in the mob, if you're untouchable, they call you untouchable, you don't think you can be touched. So you say, and you feel you can get up there and say anything, nothing's going to happen to you. Nothing's going to happen to you. When you have that kind of a mindset, you don't really care what you're going to say. So I don't know what he means by this. Could he be said voter prevention, fraud prevention? Maybe that's what he's talking about. Is he trying to say we have the best voter fraud team put together? Maybe that's what he's talking about.
You actually think that's what he meant, though?
I don't know what he's talking about because I don't think he has a good filtering system.
Okay.
Right before you're about to say something, you want to say, so how do I look? Well, you kind of look fat, And then people who have common sense are like, first answer comes up, you kind of look fat. You look great, You look good. So, all right. So
honey, do I have a big, let's make my butt look big?
Yes.
You got a fat ass, girl. No. Yeah, I know you look great.
You look great, right? So how do I do?
System.
How do I do? In our business, when people go give a speech and they get off the stage, and they say, "So how do I do?" You're like, "Shittiest talk I've heard of my life," and they say, "Dude, you did good, man. Good stuff. You did very good. Oh, awesome, thanks."
Thanks,
it's like,
bro.
So I don't think he was gifted with that filter.
Yeah. Okay.
If that makes any sense.
Joe's had his foot in his mouth for 47 years.
I think he has
Let me respond to that. Let me respond to that. Number one, you're absolutely right that Obama had to work his ass off because he didn't have the entitlement issue. He came out of nowhere.
Excuse me?
What is that?
It's a plane. It's a plane.
Oh, gotcha.
He didn't have the entitlement. What are you talking about?
Meaning, he didn't come from the 47 years in politics. He didn't come from the
one-term
Bush
senator.
dynasty. He didn't come from the Clinton dynasty. He was
anointed.
made a speech.
The minute he made his speech in 2004, they knew they were going to try to make him president. He was anointed.
Anointed, sure.
The media fell in love with him.
Okay, granted, he still had to win though. He still had to work his ass off. He wasn't like I am King Obama. He still had to go through. He had to go through come on.
He campaigned.
Yes,
he had to campaign his ass off. He was not anointed. He had to work his ass off. Okay, Hillary Clinton, on the other hand, totally agree with Pat. She was the first lady, senator,
She was waiting for her coronation.
Secretary of State. She's running against this fool, as she called him.
Billboard said she looks like a real estate agent. I don't trust her.
So, granted, that's clearly. Now, with Biden, I don't think he has the confidence by any stretch to think that he's going to be anointed. But whether you love Biden or hate Biden, and I don't know a lot of people that love him, I think there's a lot of people that don't like Trump. The one thing that him and Trump have in common, and this is true to Trump for sure, and for some reason true for Biden, is they are Teflon. Not a lot of things stick. Like after the grab him by the pussy thing and Trump became the president, clearly they're like, you know what? We're good with it. It's okay. The racism stuff, the spazzing out thing, the Mexicans are rapists, people are like, you know what?
But it never goes away. The media,
Sure.
Trump is running against Biden campaign, and he's running against the media. The media is there protecting and supporting Biden every step of the way. You know that.
80 and 90% of the media, journalists, what have you.
95% vote Democrat.
Sure, granted. But what we can establish is Donald Trump does have a Teflon quality about him, yeah?
Somewhat. Nothing like Bill Clinton had. Bill Clinton was the best.
Clinton. But even Joe, even Sleepy Joe, Crazy Joe, whatever you want to call him, Dementia Joe has some sort of Teflon, or this would have been a blowout race already.
That's some kind of. He doesn't have.
Yeah, the Teflon is the media.
So, okay, a question for you.
You're so funny. Did you actually say Biden's got the Teflon element?
Let me ask you a question, because we're going to revisit this in 1 week. If Biden happens to win this race somehow, will you at least be willing to admit that he's got a Teflon quality about him?
I wouldn't give.
You will not give him that, even if he wins.
Teflon.
Even if he wins.
He has Teflon quality.
Even if he wins, Pat.
Wait, he has Teflon quality.
If he wins, clearly he's got something.
What does winning have to do with Teflon? What does winning have to do with Teflon?
If Trump lost, would we be calling him Teflon Don?
No. What I'm trying to
exactly. You got to win in order to be Teflon.
It's got nothing to do with Teflon.
Who was the original Teflon Don?
It's got to do with Gotti.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because nothing could ever stick to the guy, right?
So what's your point?
It's the same thing with Trump.
No, Biden's not the one. Biden's not a Teflon. Biden doesn't qualify to be in the Teflon.
If he wins the presidency, how could you not say that?
Biden qualifies for absolute perfect timing to be a candidate that could potentially be a president. In no other lifetime would this guy have had a chance to be a president except today. Because of coronavirus, because of what's going on with the pandemic, because of how that was used to shut down so many different states and show riots and show protesting, to show America's in havoc, problems everywhere. It's all because of Trump. It's all because of Trump. It's all because of Trump. If you notice during Obama, we didn't have riots like this. We didn't have riots like this. Well, most of the rioters are on which side? On the left side. So they're going against Trump. Rights don't riot the way lefts riot. Lefts riot a whole different way than rights riot. So if you go breaking that part down, if he wins presidency, it's because of timing. It's got nothing to do with him being
timing
Teflon.
And the media's cooperation.
Nothing.
Okay, I do agree with you on timing. Yeah. However, if this were Bernie Sanders running against Trump right now, do you think Bernie would be ahead in the polls? Do you think Bernie would have a better chance than Biden? Speaking of timing,
I think Bernie would have a better chance than Biden.
Do you think Elizabeth Warren? So you're
Warren.
You're saying whoever would run would
not
be
Warren.
Okay,
not Warren.
But Bernie would have a better chance.
I think Bernie and Pete as well. By the way, Pete to me is.
You think Pete could have beat Trump?
I think.
No way.
I think Pete to me is a better on TV candidate, debate, poise, going back and forth, being able to have that fight. I think Pete is 10 times better than Biden in that area.
No doubt.
Resume.
No doubt.
Not resume.
He's way smarter
in that
than
area.
Biden.
Yeah.
My God.
No doubt.
They're not in the same league.
Do you understand? And again, this might ruffle some feathers. All you have to do is put a picture, and Trump would do this. So I'm saying all you have to do is a picture of him and Melania, First Lady, and Pete and Chasden. That's your First Lady. Take your pick, guys. You don't think he would throw that out there into the atmosphere?
Of course.
Take your pick.
Yeah.
Done. Pete's done.
I don't know, man.
Yeah.
I mean,
you're voting for Pete?
The whole
Petey Pablo?
The whole diversity thing is something the country. I mean, Obama got elected the first time largely because a huge swath of the country wanted to prove that they weren't racist. There's no question. No chance he could have gotten elected if he wasn't black. Not a chance in a million. Not with that resume.
Ooh.
Not a chance. What had he done? He had done nothing. Absolutely nothing.
So you need to have an immaculate resume
in order to win? You have to have a decent
resume.
resume. You have to have done something
What did
typical.
Bill Clinton ever do?
What,
He was a governor.
He was a governor.
Okay.
He was a governor.
So
Obama
Obama
hadn't
was
done
a
anything.
senator. Is that much of
He was
a
a
major
senator for
difference?
20
Major
minutes.
difference.
For 20 minutes, and he
Major
started
difference.
running
Are you
for president.
Wait. Please answer the question for him. Is there a major difference between being a senator and a governor?
Huge difference.
Tell him, please tell
You
him.
understand the difference. Senators don't
Obviously.
do anything. They just show up, maybe. They vote yes or no. They don't have
Can't
to do
believe you said
They don't
that
have
out.
to do anything. Governors are running things. They actually
Okay.
they're running a state. They're running a
difference
government. They're
between
doing
senator
something.
and
And in fact, there hadn't been a senator elected since Kennedy. Okay? I mean, it's always a governor, someone who's actually done something and run something with a proven track record of having a staff and having a payroll and having to be responsible for a budget. Senators are responsible for almost nothing.
Who was the first person you voted for?
Jimmy Carter.
Was Jimmy Carter a governor?
Yes, he was.
He was. What was he? Governor of Georgia?
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right. So I stand corrected. I'm willing to admit. Who Reagan was a governor?
Yes.
Was George H.W. Bush a governor?
Yes.
Yes.
He was?
Yes.
Okay. Was Bill Clinton a governor?
Yes. he
Yes,
was.
Arkansas.
Was Obama a governor?
No.
No, one-term senator.
Exactly.
One
So you're thinking,
And he had never
Exactly.
sponsored.
And that's my point, guys.
He had never
You could
written.
be a
He
senator.
had never written or sponsored any legislation. When he was in Illinois, he voted present like 400 and something times. He didn't want to actually. He was basically setting the table for this the whole time, so no one could say, "Well, you voted for a bill that said this, that, or the other," because all these bills are never clean. They're never like, "Hey, it's just one issue bill." There's a
You're
bunch
from
of bills.
Chicago, though, so
Yeah.
you've been watching Obama for years. So
Yeah.
you know what's going on with this guy.
There's nobody more Teflon than that guy.
Okay. Are you Obama fan or no?
No.
You're not Obama fan.
No, never liked him. I always thought he was fraudulent. His true ideology.
Fraudulent?
Yeah, his true ideology was he tried to hide it. It came out a few times with Joe the plumber and a few other things. You didn't build that, and cling to your guns and religion and all that. And when he thought he was unplugged, it came out. But by and large, he was able to hide it.
What do you
and
think
try to
was
make himself
fraudulent?
look centrist? What?
What do you think was fraudulent about Obama?
He didn't disclose his true ideology.
What was that?
Communism.
You think he's a communist?
Communist socialism. Yes, that's what he wanted to fundamentally transform our country. When, by and large, most of the country did not want to be fundamentally transformed.
And what evidence do we
wanted
have
to
that
make
he
a
wanted to
statement
be a
say
communist? What evidence do we have of
Have
communism?
you watched the movie 2016 Obama's America? Have you
I
seen
have
that
not.
movie?
I have
Watch
not.
the movie and
No,
then get back.
I'd rather take the cliff notes. What evidence do we have
Oh,
that there's
how about
that he was
his-
a communist?
How about his book, in his own words?
The Communist Manifesto? What was
No,
the name
not
of his
that
book?
book.
About his father.
Yeah, Dreams of My Father.
Okay,
He narrated it in his own voice, and, and the
I'm
book
looking at
sold
8
lots
years
of
of
copies.
presidency. What do we have that's
Well, he didn't
potentially
govern that way.
communist?
He didn't govern that way because he was afraid to. He didn't think he could get it passed, and he was afraid he'd get thrown
So
out.
I'm going on him being a president for 8 years. I didn't look at him and be like, "There's my communist president."
If he'd have governed that way in the first 4 years, he would never have been elected.
Okay.
In the second 4 years, he didn't have control of the House and the Senate like he did in the first 4 years. The first 2 years. First 2 years,
So
he
you're
had
speculating that he was
No, there's no
communist.
question. He was pragmatic about how he was going to advance his agenda. He did as much as he thought he could.
Communism? Obama? Do you agree with Byron?
Well, I mean, his father was a communist. His stepfather, or the guy that his wife, his mother put in to be his surrogate father.
Just because your family, like,
But he
Pat is
wrote a
very
book.
open that his mom was a
But
communist.
he writes a book
right?
about he was trying to live life so in the dreams of his father. I mean, there's no question that when I was in college, I hung out with all the radicals, blah, blah, blah. I mean, everything he said, everything he did. I mean, he hung out in a church with Reverend Wright for years and years and years, who was his mentor, who married him. This guy is known for saying, "Goddamn America," and Obama's like, "Oh, I didn't know he said stuff like that." I mean, just complete. Talk about tough. The media never took him to task.
I don't
They asked the
know
question
about
one time.
communists. I do put about socialists, and I do put about him not loving America, of what America was founded on. He may have loved the America that he wanted to turn America into.
I agree.
But
That's
I don't
kind
know about communists. I would say socialist, yes, and I would say he didn't love the America on the foundations it was founded on. But why don't we go
He
into
put
the next?
Anita Young on his cabinet. Is Anita Young? Is that her name? Anita Dunn. This woman was they asked her who her idols were. She says, "I have 2 idols in the world: Mother Teresa and Mao Zedong." This is a woman that he put on his cabinet. He put on that guy Vince, the guy
Van
that
Jones.
Van Jones. This guy was a card-carrying communist
Yeah, he
for
was.
much of it. I mean,
He was.
these are 2 people
But
on his
within
cabinet.
a week or two, he was like gone.
I'm just saying, he
Yeah.
put 2
No,
people that were known communist, ideologues on his cabinet. I mean, how do you do that? You don't know that that's what they
Yeah.
are?
Yeah.
Do you watch Van Jones on CNN?
Yeah,
Do you appreciate his opinion?
I
or no?
like Van Jones.
He's come around a little bit
I like
since
Van
then.
Jones.
I actually find him to be highly credible. In 2016, when Trump won, he was actually one
Yes.
of the first people
Yes,
to come
he
out
was.
and say, "Look, guys,
We didn't get it.
I wasn't we called
missed
this
it.
wrong. I'm willing to admit he's my president. Like, I respect his opinion. Do I
I
agree
do-
with his
I do
opinion
as
all the
well.
time?
I
I think he's
I think
come
he's a
around.
very smart,
Yeah.
talented guy.
No, I gave you my positions on Obama, on how I viewed Obama. It's very simple how I view who he was and what he did. Very simple on who he was and what he did.